Oh, I was, tell you the truth, I was excited to get home. Being in the hospital after 15 months, it was the best thing. It was, when they told me, hey, I'm going home, and I wanted to get home and see what I can be able to do, and what's the life, be like outside the hospital. But when I got home, I had 6 weeks of TRB, and after that, my wife came back to work full time, and it sort of started to change a few things. I feel like after a couple of days, my wife went back to work. I sort of started to feel like I'm a bit alone, because I only have 2 hours for my morning shift, and when they leave as well, there was no one around the house and no one to talk to, and not only that, I didn't see anybody. And that's when I sort of started to feel isolated, and I feel boxed in, because I was thinking about going outside, but in one way I was thinking, what happened if I fall out the chair, or what happened if I get stuck outside, and who's going to come and rescue me? And that was a lot of things was going in my mind. And yeah, I come to the door and open the door and look outside, and I close it again, because I didn't want to get out there. It was, tell you the truth, it was so scary, but I couldn't tell anybody, because there was no one over there to talk to. And not only that, it wasn't like the hospital, everything was wheelchair accessible. And not only that, it was always people around 24/7. I don't have to talk to anybody, but at least I can see someone walk past, and I feel safe. But at home, I did feel safe, but in one way, I feel like my life, it was limited. Oh, how did it feel like getting out? It's one way I was excited about going out to the shopping centre, and other thing I was worried about, he was out there, is that wheelchair accessible? And yeah, but when I go out, I was always thinking, people is gonna look at me because I'm in a wheelchair. And this was the thing, going around in my mind. And when we went out, it's like, yeah, I feel like, I'm like, everybody's looking at me, and I didn't cope with it very well. And every time we go out, we only just go out for a little while, and I sort of asked my wife so we can go home, and I didn't want to tell her why I want to go home, because I didn't want to upset her, and I didn't want her to worry about me as well. But that's why this was my big concern when I go out in the first time. Yeah. Oh, how do I overcome the challenge when I first come home? It was taking a while for me to overcome, but I did, because first thing I was thinking about, I'm being thankful I'm still alive, and not only that, I have my wife family and friend, you know, very supportful of me, you know, and everything I see is sort of, I'm heading in a good way, you know, and I'm being thankful, like, because probably someone is worse off than me. And to overcome going to the shopping centre and people staring at me, and you know, I look at it, you know, if my family and friend, they don't care about me in a wheelchair, why do I care about other people that don't know me, you know? And since I think that way, you know, I go to the shopping centres, you know, it's no problem, you know, because I know people look at me, but I've this thing inside of me, as you know, I said, they probably said, oh, what a good looking bloke in a wheelchair, you know, sort of little thing like that, you know, I just think that way, so it's made me, you know, overcome that fear, you know, and now you know, I'm happy to get out as much as I can, you know, I go to the shopping centre, I go anywhere, you know, and you know, I cleared, you know, I go through all that challenge to come out on the other side as you know, stronger than what I was before.